the soccer podcast from dailyfantasylobby.com. Hey everybody, and welcome to dailyfantasylobby.com's weekly English Premier League soccer podcast. I am Christy.
I'm David.
And David is the CEO and owner of dailyfantasylobby.com. I'm just an imposter. I don't know how I got invited to do this, but I turn up every week.
Well, that's true. Well, it's a big day today, wasn't it? General election.
General election in Great Britain. I'm not a betting man. I kind of am a betting man, but you know, you're not meant to promote it and all this. If I were to bet,
who would be the incumbent in Downing Street?
Well, you know,
it was even money. It was an absolutely perfect even money each of two market.
There was a cigarette paper between the two. The Conservatives were favourite by a hair last time I looked.
Right, I can't be much of it.
But I would go Labour, and it really is Hobson's choice. You know, it's. Yeah. I'm not even going to come up with an example out of respect for our poor viewers.
I know it's a bit like a choice between sort of Raheem Sterling as centre forward or some other guy that doesn't score. So, you know, that's your
perfect.
That's your choice. Let's proceed.
And with that perfect segue, we're going to go straight into our strategy for this week's selections. Now, you may have noticed, you probably haven't noticed because you haven't seen the screen by now, but you may well soon notice that this week we are eschewing DraftKings.
We are eschewing them.
Foregoing it.
We sure
DraftKings, get in that bin.
So who's it?
We are playing at MondoGoal.
We are MondoGoal. Why are we playing at MondoGoal?
We're playing at MondoGoal because we couldn't get logged into DraftGoal. DraftGoal, unfortunately, is US only at the moment, and as you might be able to tell from our accents, we are not US.
We're not US.
So MondoGoal it is, which is Euro friendly. Actually, we should say some nice words about MondoGoal because for all my tongue-in-cheekness, MondoGoal is universal.
No, yeah, I mean, we just hadn't, we've looked at MondoGoal a few weeks ago. We just haven't looked at DraftGoal really properly, and we just thought this would be a nice week to do it.
Yeah.
And we couldn't get logged in. So anyway, look, it's great. And also, MondoGoal are running like the biggest soccer guaranteed GPP at the end of the season, on the final week of the season.
Final weekend of the season.
So they're running this £30,000 tournament that you can't actually enter you to qualify for. So we're going to give it a shot this week and maybe the next week or two. We'll try and qualify, and then we'll try and win the big.
Yeah, we'll try and sati into it. But what do you think? Just speculatively, what do you think the reason is for them having no direct buy-in? I could give you my reason if I'm putting you too much on the spot.
Yeah, I don't know. You tell me.
I'm gonna hazard a guess that the reason is they want people getting into the habit of playing. They want you to get in the habit of logging in, of picking your team.
That's the reason. It's a good reason to have.
Get people familiar with the process of entering teams. So why have them enter one competition when you can have them enter two?
Sure.
That's I might be so far wrong in that.
I think we've really given a lot of added value in the podcast so far with the election and with our general debate.
I think that is top quality insight, I'll have you know.
Sure, no, it definitely is.
Okay, without further ado, let's unveil the team for this week. You should be able to see this on the screen right now. In goal, we have got
Everton's Tim Howard, who played Sunderland.
Everton plays Sunderland, which
at Goodison.
Everton have nothing to play for and have had nothing to play for quite a while. Sunderland have everything to play for.
So already sounds like a terrible pick, doesn't it?
It's just, I don't know. Everton are okay defensively, no better than that.
They're okay. They must be okay because they kept a clean sheet against Man U, and Man U are scoring no goals.
No goals. So I love your chain of logic there. Tim Howard, as our American viewers will attest, is an outstanding goalkeeper when on form. He's actually controversial statement, but I think he's had quite a weak season, to be honest. I don't think he's been great. World Cup hangover.
A little bit. He's one of my favourite Tourette sportsmen.
Give me another one. So you had a short list of one?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of
my favourite.
He is, yeah.
One of my favourite.
Technically correct. Okay, so we've gone for Tim Howard in goals. If anything, it's because he's a good price.
I think so. We had 6 million and you win. And you know, do we even need to talk about Bertrand?
Ryan Bertrand
every week, every site, every week. Doesn't matter what the scoring rules are. Yeah. Ryan Bertrand's in there.
Yeah, I pick him mainly because he's cheaper than Leighton Baines, who's the only other decent left back in the country.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We did have Leighton Baines in the lineup, and we realised we were 4 million short of a striker, so we had to get him.
I don't know about you, David. Right? Again, another off-script conversation, but I find myself making my selections as if I'm picking an actual football team rather than, because I only need 4 defenders. Yeah. I don't need a left back and a back. I still pick a left back.
Oh no, you need to have balance in the team. I mean, you don't want too many right-sided guys.
It's such nonsense, but I do it.
I know. I don't.
Okay.
But I can understand that you do.
So Ryan Bertrand, the left back, right back, Pav Zab, Man City.
Exactly. Good balance. 8 million. We weren't sure about. I think we sort of looked at Man City game against QPR and we thought there's a little chance of a clean sheet there, and you know,
it's a big chance.
So people might go for a few defenders. Joe Hart might be picked by a lot of guys and stuff, but we weren't sure about the selection policy behind Man City this weekend. We weren't sure that.
No, I think as much as anything, David particularly wanted Kolarov in the team, which I can completely get behind. But it's that classic when you have a squad as big as Man City's. Which player does he pick? Does he go with Clichy, give him a game, or does he go with Kolarov? I mean, it's
like, do they have an eye on next season? I would have thought. Well, is there any point in having an eye on next season? Different managers.
They're going to be rooted out. I would say.
Think so?
Of the current 11, I'd say no more than half start next season.
And the manager?
No, he's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone. That is like safest bet ever.
He's gone. Okay. The guy that intrigued me in your defensive picks this week was at 4.2 million. Really nice cheap pick. Was Wilson from Stoke.
Wilson, yeah.
What's he going to bring to your lineup?
Well, hopefully not ill discipline, which is always the concern with a sort of a more, euphemistically speaking, agricultural defender. He's cheap. He freed me up to spend some decent money. Otherwise, other ways. Spurs.
Is he an attacking player? I mean, I know really almost nothing about this guy.
No, he's just a defender. He just sits there. He's a classic Stoke defender. You know how they like 4 big guys across the back.
So he's like an empty seat.
He's an empty seat. Look, they're playing Spurs. Spurs away. They don't have mad goals in them, do they? If Kane isn't scoring, Spurs ain't scoring.
No, you can see it.
So I'm not saying that this is like pick of the century or anything, but price-wise, what was it? 4.2 mega. 4.2 mega. I got to stand behind that.
Yeah, okay. And Ron Vlaar completes your lineup at the back?
Yeah, Villa are playing West Ham. West Ham, as we discuss every week, are struggling for creativity, struggling for shots on target, let alone goals. Ron Vlaar.
But Valencia looked very dangerous last week.
Such a good player. Such a good player.
I think there might be some truth in him going to Chelsea or that sort of team. You know, energy, isn't it? You know, it's maybe not Chelsea, but I can see him going to a top 5-6 team. I thought he was a standout at the World Cup.
I thought he was very good at the World Cup, but one thing that Chelsea don't do historically, and history isn't necessarily a great predictor of the future, but historically Chelsea don't tend to buy from lesser English clubs and make focal points of these players. And of course there are guys like Gary Cahill that kind of disprove that rule. But I'm thinking guys like Loic Remy sort of came in from
Gap, wasn't it? Really?
Exactly, came in just that one tier below. I had another example in my head 1 second ago, and it's gone.
I think they're looking at Griezmann, aren't they, from Atletico Madrid?
Dembaba. You can pick them up at a decent price, but they just don't make.
It's just 15-20 million to fill the bench.
Exactly.
No, you'd be better promoting youth, but I think that's a swear word at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got a cheap defence there. You could have had, obviously, as we talked about, you could have had again Leighton Baines, great insight from us.
Yeah.
But we couldn't afford him, so you can't. So you select a lineup there where you think pretty unspectacular. You're not really going to bomb forward with Wilson and Vlaar, but you're probably going to get a few crosses from Zabaleta and Bertrand maybe. It'll do okay.
You know what? I've got 3 words about why I've gone for this defence this week.
Yeah.
It's unders week. The games are so evenly poised this week. There's such even matchups, the entire slate pretty much. Take away maybe Man City QPR where there's an obvious mismatch. I just believe that there won't be many goal scorers.
Tight games,
which is why I'm saving some money defensively.
And you went for a 4-3-3 formation.
Yeah.
So your three in midfield is again Bolasie, who playing for Palace
Good
at
season.
home to Man U. And you've then gone for Di Maria, who, stupid comment, you think he'll play this week?
I said that last week and he didn't. They got 20 minutes off the bench.
I think Van Gaal's got to do something this week.
Man U have lost 3 on the spin. No one seems to be talking about it. Am I the only one that's noticed?
No, I've noticed.
They're just noticed.
I haven't noticed. I think they've had an atrocious season. I'm not buying into it. I think they had a bit of a fluky run, accrued some points. They were terrible at the beginning. They're terrible now. They won a few games in the middle, didn't they?
They went on an excellent run of winning. But I remember we were discussing at the time on this podcast a couple of months ago that I hate the word, but it's fitting here. They were due a defeat. They've been grinding out. They've been luckily scraping out victories where they really weren't deserved.
And I think we looked at it and we looked at who can we play Man U, what Man U players can we get in to the midfield, and we looked at it and none of them are going to score a goal.
Young was the only guy that actually looked good value.
Is everyone just a defensive midfielder?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a sorry game, isn't it?
If Man U are playing Crystal Palace and you can only really get one Man U player in,
it's a sad. You know what? Forget. DFS. It's actually an indictment on the team, on the club, and the situation they find themselves in. I actually would be far more likely to put in 2, say 3 Crystal Palace players. More interested in that side. Punching could have got in there. So. Anyway, Man United not happy.
And can we take 1 second while we're on this topic to discuss, how disappointed Man U were, how disappointed Man City were, but just as a general, how far below the top tier English football's looking right now. If you saw the Champions League games,
might have been the greatest midweek of football.
Absolutely sensational.
It was absolute glory. I mean, last night was very, very, very good, and the night before was just as good.
And I was thinking at 70, 75 minutes last night, I was thinking with my girlfriend beside me on the couch, she's watching some nonsense and I'm watching the game on my laptop, and I'm actually half watching the garbage that she's watching because this game was just, it was tit for tat. There was no...
It wasn't quite getting there, was it? I actually felt that Bayern were getting a little bit on top come the 75th minute, and honestly my wife, she said, she came downstairs, she said, look, can I watch something on telly? And I think it was at the 60th minute, and I was like, no. And then the 75th minute, I went, you know what, just watch a programme. And I was looking on Twitter, and then I went, oh, they scored a goal. And I can't believe it, they scored a goal 30 seconds after I switched over. A few minutes later, they've scored again, grabbed the remote control, pushed her off the couch.
Sorry, missus.
I said, I'm sorry.
Away.
I'm sorry, this isn't happening, obviously.
Go walk the dog, Messi's on fire here.
Sat and watched the rest of it, but yeah.
Amazing. How good was Messi? And there is just no one in English football, even... I mean, okay, tough metric, because he's the best player in the world by miles.
Hazard.
Hazard's not even close.
No, but I mean,
Messi.
he gets the ball and dribbles past people. He's quite good.
That's it. If Hazard is the best player in England,
well, he'd get on the bench for Barcelona, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
And he might even get a game.
10 minutes here, 20 minutes there, starting against Elche,
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, up front three.
Well, easy choice this week, wasn't it? Because we really fancy Villa to do well against under strength West Ham United defence, and we think Benteke is going to just do what Benteke does.
Well, West Ham have been playing an 18-year-old whose name temporarily escapes me alongside James Collins. Now that is a catastrophe waiting to happen. So
even at 13.6, we found the budget to get him in there.
Yeah.
And you were desperate to get Aguero.
Aguero has to play. Man City at home to QPR. QPR are down. That's happening. Let's not waste any time sort of talking about the possibility. It's happening. They are down. Aguero will score. Yeah, if he starts, he scores.
He will score. And you'd fancy Arsenal in the Monday night game against Swansea. That just an open game. It's always an open game.
Swansea have been superb. They've been like Southampton this season in that every time they lose 2 or 3, and you think, here we go, here comes the nosedive. Nah, they just go and bink a nice win.
Yeah.
Just move on with their life.
I see that being just quite a nice, easy to watch game.
Yeah.
Maybe 2-0 Arsenal, Giroud scores, and maybe Sanchez scores, but we can't afford Sanchez, so Giroud's in the lineup.
You've spotted the flaw with our selection strategy. We can't afford the players we want.
Yep. So I think that's quite a nice team. I think you've got a decent chance there.
I think so too. I think we have a strong squad. You never know. We're going to enter it. We'll see if we can satellite into the big one, the 30k guaranteed in the final Sunday of the season. So don't forget to tune in next week. See how we got on. If we did disastrously, which is the heavy favourite, we won't mention it. We'll just airbrush it from history.
Never happened.
Yeah. And yeah, let's wrap it up here. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. Please check us out on Twitter @SuperLobby. We do a whole lot of regular tweeting and posting and what have you. Just this week I actually wrote a guest article that we've been promoting around the Twitter sphere. Hopefully you can fire on in and give that a bit of social media love.
Yep.
David, where else would you like people to get in touch?
I think the best thing to do is go onto the website and drop in your email address and send us a message. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about the site. We're about to go through a summer of product development, so now would be the time if you had some ideas for improvement in terms of the user experience and any data feeds that you want added in that we can maybe try and get a hold of. Just like anything at all. So via the contact us form. Great to hear from you.
Perfect. And yeah, it's been an absolute delight as always. I'm Christy.
I'm David.
And we'll catch up with you next week. Bye everyone.
Bye bye.